This week on Wonky Times, strange 911 calls involving UFOs and unexplained encounters send people into full panic mode. Plus, what would you do if a mysterious creature jumped onto your vehicle in the middle of the night? Spooky. And Matt explores spiritual frequencies with a Native American holy man. Wonky Times begins now, nerds. It's party time.
Hey, howdy folks, it's Matt and my co-hosts, RoboBrian and RoboBecca.
Salutations.
Hola, amigos.
Dang, Becca knows Spanish. There's a bit of a theme this week. I mean, I guess there's always a theme every episode, but I'm just like verbalizing it.
So there is a theme.
Yeah, totally. Like we are getting really, really good at this.
At what?
At themes.
So what is this week's theme? You still haven't mentioned it.
Oh yeah, it's about frequency. Yeah, so this episode's all about frequencies, and one of the most common types of frequency is a phone call.
Like the antenna in my skull.
Yeah, there you go, Brian.
Like spiritual and healing frequencies.
Hey, yeah, you guys are cool. Frequency. All right, we're getting into the theme. First, let's talk about phone calls. You know, I went down a rabbit hole the other night. I couldn't sleep, and I started listening to random 911 calls on the internet.
That is a very random thing to do.
Yeah, so like back in the 90s, there was this UFO sighting that sparked several 911 calls in the Midwest. It was pretty crazy. Becca, you actually know quite a bit about this. We were talking about it over breakfast the other day.
On March 8th, 1994, several people in western Michigan, just on the edge of Lake Michigan, called 911 about strange lights in the sky, described as mostly cylindrical, moving up and down in altitude, and having a vertical row of lights on them. Here's one of the 911 calls.
We were just wondering, have you heard anything about these lights that are flickering up here in, what is it, the southeast area? And it's just like a circle of a lot of different lights flickering. And it's different than any airplane. Okay.
And there's also audio from the 911 dispatcher calling the National Weather Service radar operator dude. You should hear this.
Now I'm getting multiple returns. One of the people that called that I had happened to talk to said it looked like a bunch of cylindrical objects. Well, oh my God, what is that? They were going together and coming apart. Yeah, there's three, and they're lengthwise. Now I'm getting three of them.
This reminds me of the alleged UFO crash and alien sightings in Las Vegas a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, good memory, Brian. Hey, we're on the same frequency. No way. You're talking about the family who called 911 after claiming that a UFO crashed in their backyard, and then there were like tall alien creatures wandering around nearby. It's pretty crazy.
They said the creatures were about 8 to 10 feet tall.
That's like Bigfoot status, man.
And the 911 call from that case is genuinely creepy because the guy sounds completely panicked.
Becca, do you have the clip?
Let me see. Found it.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light. And when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it. And another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
Okay.
Like this makes me think of the movie Signs.
Oh, the one directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the guy.
And speaking of terrifying 911 calls, there's another one we should play really quick out of North Carolina. This is the one where a driver called 911 after spotting what he described as a bloody man walking along the highway at night.
Oh yeah, the guy said it was some sort of like cryptid, and it ended up jumping onto his pickup truck. Pretty crazy. And then the guy starts screaming, "That's not human! That's not human!" Ah!
Why don't we just play the clip?
Oh yeah, good thinking.
Henry County 911, what's the address of your emergency? I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay,
What the?
what was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road. It's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am. I just turned on my bed lights for my truck, and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
And here's what the Fuzz had to say about it, a.k.a. the police.
It is very hard to listen to that call to that 911 tape without becoming somewhat unnerved. According to the CAD notes and the deputy reports, this thing jumped into the back of his pickup truck and began to actually beat on the top of the cab of his truck. At some point, he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway.
So to stick with the theme.
The theme is frequency, right?
Frequency. Yeah, our friend D. Paul, who's been on the show a couple of times at least, he and I got to talking about different frequencies in more of a spiritual sense, you know, just like what you were saying earlier, Becca.
The energetic vibrations that make up the universe, man.
Heck yeah. Anyway, D. Paul is a very smart guy. He's a Native American holy man. He can see more than he wants to at times, and he can speak to the spirit world. No way. He's an interesting guy, and we actually had a really good talk about frequencies. Wait. Frequencies. There we go. All right, take a listen.
High vibration energy, low vibration energy. How does this game work? How do dreams work? You know, I mean, I could do this for hours. What's the purpose of meditation? Do crystals really work? What's you know, people look at crystals and they say, oh, I can't feel it. You know, and I say to them, I go, well, let me ask you this. Do you understand how a crystal really, you know, what's the purpose in it? You know, what is that crystal supposed to do? Like you had mentioned malachite. Malachite is a healing energy, but for the most part, that's where people leave it. But it's not an energy, it's a frequency. So I say to people all the time, you're telling me you can't feel, you know, the energy of the stone. Well, let me ask you this. You know, so because of that, you don't believe in it, right? Crystals don't work. And that's what they do. They say yes. So it comes down to feeling, right? And they say, well, yes. I said, okay. Can you feel the radio station?
Yeah, I'd say
Can you turn a radio station on and feel
the vibration and sound? Oh, yeah.
Okay. And everybody says, no, you can hear the music, but you can't hear the frequency that sends it from the tower to your receiver, your radio, right? You're standing in it. So why do you need a radio to listen to the music? Okay. Well, the radio is your medium to it.
Yeah.
Now put yourself in there as the actual radio. Okay. So now the radio can pick up the frequency. Well, it's the same thing. The crystals have a frequency associated with them, and some people need somebody to turn it on. Okay. Hence a conduit. So just because you can't feel the frequency of a crystal doesn't mean that frequency isn't affecting your frequency, because we all vibrate at different levels. Okay. Angels are way up here. Demons are way down here. Low vibration, high vibration, right? We're somewhere way in between here. And then guys like me, we just happen to be able to hear, see, sense the frequencies that are at a higher vibration.
You talk exactly like how my wife speaks. She's always telling me about energy and frequencies, and it's fun for me to hear you talk about it, and others that I've spoken to, like just to hear it's believable for me.
Well, Matthew, the same thing applies with sage, cedar, and tobacco. Okay, those are the four elements that Great Spirit sent down to help us neutralize dark energy, negative energy.
I don't know if you would know this, but sometimes my wife, she can smell tobacco when we don't have any in the house. Do you know what that means?
So what I'm seeing is a man with short black hair, kind of groomed groomed perfectly, okay, but tight, okay? Kind of like Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang, that tight black hair, okay? And I'm seeing cigarettes. You know, I want to say cigar, but I'm seeing cigarettes. So my wife's mother was a smoker, okay? And anytime my wife smells that smoke, she knows her mother's there, okay? Her father, toast. When she can smell toast, she knows it's her dad. Now I've only seen her mother once, but I can see her father. Okay. But that's the spirit world, you know, doing what they can within the laws of the universe, right? Universal laws to let you know that they're here without causing, you know, a problem getting, you know, but that's what I'm picking up from the smoke from your wife. So I don't know, but I'm getting a nice man, you know, you know, I'm getting good, getting happy, right? Normally when I go somewhere or I listen to this stuff, it takes time for it to kind of get through all the obstacles and roadblocks I've got up to keep this shit from hounding me too much.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm seeing. And they're specifically trying to tell her, for the most part, it's okay. Right. Yeah. So when she's seeing that, for the most part, they're trying to tell her it's okay. She's struggling with something and she's starting to get down a rabbit hole. And that smoke will come in to kind of tell her it's okay, you know, try to help pull her out before she goes too far down the rabbit hole. Again, my first time meeting you, so I'm not even sure who your wife is.
I think I'm afraid to ask like anything about any people I've lost, you know, like, oh, what are they trying to tell me? Like that stuff. I don't know why I'm not like, it doesn't make me nervous, but it's more of, it's intimidating maybe. Like, I know they're around me cause I can hear my grandma clear her throat sometimes. That was like something she often did. My dog who died probably 3 years ago, I could hear sometimes his collar jingle, little things like that, you know. That's just one of the multiple questions probably that I've been holding back on. I don't know. Have you heard of anyone else talk like this before? Like how they don't want to know, or they do want to know, but they're kind of scared to know. I don't know.
Everybody.
Okay. So I'm just
You'd
like,
be amazed how many people look at me and say, what are you thinking? Wait, don't tell me. Okay. That's a common thing because again, when people ask, I tell them.
We're curious.
So I have a standard rule. Listen, if you don't want to know, don't ask, because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then once I tell you, you know, it sticks. So it's your fear of the unknown that has you reluctant to ask those questions. Okay. Over time, you'll come to terms with that fear. And again, it's a normal, healthy fear. Okay. And as you continue down this path that you're on, you'll become more and more comfortable, not just with asking those questions, but with seeing what's around you. But deja vu is another big one. That's coming for you. You're going to be running into a bunch of
it happens often for me. Once or twice a month, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. What does that mean?
Pay attention to those. Well, to me, it means a couple of things. One is you've done it. Whatever you did the first time, you didn't do it right, so you had to go back and do it again. Okay. Now spin that around. Okay. You may have dreamt it. You may have seen it. Okay. And now it's playing out. For me, one of the reasons I have a dream log is I spent my whole life saying, I dream everything that's coming. I mean, when I was working, I'd go to bed trying to solve a problem, and I'd wake up with the answer, and it would come to me in a dream. How do you solve this problem? How do I solve this problem? And the pieces would come together. Right. So when I started writing it down, my dreams, it helped me. I don't know, is the word codify my deja vu. Right. Okay. And for me, deja vu is almost a daily. I bump into this stuff often. Okay, I don't always have to sit down and rig it back to my dream log, But the dream log is a vital piece of what I use to kind of see, sense, know, and understand what's coming or how to react.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of this week's show.
Thanks for getting wonky with us.
So yeah, like always, let us know if you see anything weird out there. If you do, email us at getwonky@wonkytimes.com.
Or send us a message on Instagram at wonkytimes.
Or call us at 615-669-8240 and leave us a voicemail. We're not going to answer it, but there's a very good chance that we'll play your message on the show. So pretty cool.
Give us a ring-a-ling.
Adios.